Hi guys, just wanted to come on for a visit. It's tea time. And is everybody else getting a little cabin fever? I am. Yep. I sure wish it would warm up. Here in Ohio, it's still very early spring and it's too cold for me to go out. Some people don't mind this, but 40s and 50s, it's still a little chilly for me. Makes my joints hurt, so I'm waiting anxiously for it to get into the 60s and not rain, because that's usually what happens. Once the temperatures get up there a little higher, it starts to rain, and then you can't go out either. So I've been trying to go for little walks here and there. That does help, but I really am anxious to get out in my garden. And in a little bit, I'm going to show you a clip of all the work I need to do out there, but it looks like this every spring, and by the end of the summer, it looks fantastic. But right now, it really doesn't look fantastic at all. It looks it's a mess. It's a real mess. So, and I haven't turned the water on yet, so I can't clean anything because last night it still went down into the 30s and we had frost. So it's a little too early for that yet too, because here in Ohio, it's not impossible to get a bunch of snow up until the end of April. So anyway, I wanted to talk about a little bit of all the food that I still have left. I haven't really been shopping. I mean, people have picked up maybe a loaf of bread here and there, or just a couple things, a dozen eggs. You know, I still had eggs, but I was running a little low, and of course all the hoarders had been hoarding eggs. So I said, well, if you can get me a dozen eggs, then that would be lovely. And so I got an extra dozen eggs. I mean, they hoarded everything, and I'm sure you all know that. Bread, flour, let's not forget toilet paper. Oh my God, toilet paper. Everything. But I've noticed that my grandson worked in the grocery store for a while. He's not going in now. My mom has to have some surgery and I have to take care of her. So we decided we don't need him coming home with something and giving it to my 91-year-old mom. So, but when he was working there when everybody was hoarding. He said pretty much everything was wiped out. He couldn't get hot dog buns. He couldn't get bagels. You know, all the things he likes to eat, they were just out. So anyway, the last time he went, he said things are starting to stock up again. And just for poops and giggles, I went on Walmart's shopping site today, and they're all out of a lot of things. So they may restock. Usually I notice that the Walmart here where I live, they start restocking on Friday afternoons, and that's pretty much for the weekend crowd. But there's no point to having a weekend crowd right now because so many people are working from home or have lost their jobs. I mean, I know there's still people working, but I don't know how much of a crowd they're going to have compared to when everybody's working and shopping on the weekends. So anyway, that's what's happening here, and I want to share with you a lot of the things that I still have in my fridge. Other than those few couple things, I still have a fully stocked refrigerator. And stretching my food is the ticket, because if I start off, let's say, with a block of tofu, I can get like 4 or 5, 6 meals out of that just by stretching it and combining it with other ingredients. And really, if you're really hard up for a meal, make some kind of soup. I mean, I'm sure you can find bits and pieces of whatever you have. You can even, if you have mashed potatoes and vegetables left, You can add some broth and make a cream soup out of it. You know, take your little immersion blender and blend it up, and Bob's your uncle. You've got another couple meals anyway. So I want to do a few more cooking, stretching your cooking videos. It was a little difficult finding the things that I wanted to recommend that maybe you might consider stocking in your pantry, not hoarding, just stocking, so that you have enough food for meals. So I'm going to make an upcoming video about that, but it was really hard finding the prices online because personally I don't need to run out and buy these things because I already have them, but I just wanted to give some idea of some meals that you can make. And of course, the protein that I use is vegetarian, but you can certainly swap it out for meat products or animal products if that's what you eat. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I still have in my refrigerator and my pantry and my freezer and my garden, and then I'll be back and let's go. All right, those that know me know I'm a bit of a prepper, not over the top, but I always have stuff going. So this is how my refrigerator looks after not shopping for a whole month. There's still plenty of food in there. I certainly won't starve to death. And over here in the door, I still have plenty of jellies and creamers and wine and condiments. So my fridge is still well stocked. This is why I always have food on hand, just for situations like this, so I don't have to go out. And then my freezer is looking about the same. Up here I have veggie meat products, and here it continues. I have some dessert things. Down here I have some more meat products. These are my grandson's. He likes meat, so this is all vegetarian meat. Down here I have some random things. Frozen guacamole. I have some aquafaba there. Just things like that. And then down here I have a whole drawer still of fruits. I've been making fruit salad, which is really yummy. And down here I still have a whole drawer of frozen veggies. So this is what my freezer looks like after a month. Here's some more things for my grandson, and down there, and some cheese. So I'm glad that I had enough that I didn't need to run out to the store. So anyway, that's what that looks like. I'll show you my pantry. So as you can see, my pantry's still well stocked. I've got breadcrumbs, pasta, I've got my rice, potatoes, I've got these, I like these little packs of the different flavors of dried potatoes. I don't like all kinds of dried potatoes, but these Idahoan potatoes, they have different flavors. They're really tasty, and I make them with milk instead of just with water. And plenty more pasta here. I've got my extra spices here. I've got more spices that I bought. And more spices and my different flavorings of oils and things there. I've got some
cold brew coffee, teas. I have tons of teas yet. My oils. And then I have some more spices here. I've got some different creamers and things here in case I run out of the wet creamers, the liquid creamers. And then I've got salad toppings in here. I have a ton of those left. This is chocolate. There's no cookies in there right now, but I put goodies, cookies, and chocolates in there. But I have plenty of chocolate yet. Here I keep my peanut butters. So I've got plenty of that. And down here I have some nuts and coconut that I use for making different things. Coconut bacon, those sorts of things. And down here I have more nuts, but I have raw nuts down here and dates for making different vegan dishes. And I have a big bottle of cleaner down there, my dog food. I have a bigger bag in the garage. And over here I just have some random things. And this is where we keep our snacks. I have like Aldi's version of Doritos, and I like to keep a lot of corn chips and things like that. And back there I have popcorn. So, and up there I have some Bisquick and baking things, egg replacer, my bread flour. I have more in the basement. My baking things, and up here I keep just random baking things way up there that I don't use very often. So that's still what I have in my kitchen pantry. I have a pantry downstairs too, but I'm not going to go into that right now because right now I'm just using up mainly what I have up here. So here are some of the candles that I've been making. As you can see, they're just kind of striped because I took old candles, melted them, and put a new wick in. So I have a brand new jar candle. And so far I've made 3 of those just from scraps. And here I'm just making some tea. I like this chai tea. Bengal spice, it's really good. So I usually make a cup in the morning and I like it very strong. So I keep it in there till afternoon, and then I have my afternoon tea, which it's getting time to be. And then I make my iced tea. I put different blends of tea in there, and then here I'm just making some mint tea for my grandson, and he can drink that either hot or cold. So I've been keeping busy, trying to get things done, but today I thought I'd clean up the kitchen. So here are all the little jars from candles from the Dollar Tree, and I love these for keeping spices in. They're mason jars, and they last me several days when I burn them, but when they have the little bits of wax left, this is what I melted and put in my new candles, my new jar candles. So I have a lot of these little jars that I'm going to keep for spices. And here is the lazy crew. Here's just lounging around all day, which is really the only thing I feel like doing is lounging around. Even though I've got a million things to do, that's what I feel like doing. So I really have to push myself lately to get going. My little celery is growing nicely. I just have that on my dining room table. And I planted that a few days ago when it was just a little wee baby. And now it's starting to grow. I'm going to try and put that in the garden soon. It's been still kind of cold here, 40s and 50s. It's just starting. Last night it went down to 30 something. So we had frost. It's still a little too cold. My little tomatoes are still doing well. I'm going to have to put those outside soon because they're getting a little leggy. but I'll give it a couple more days. And then 2 of my orchids are blooming. Here's a purple one, and here's a yellow one. And there's another one over here that has a couple of buds. I don't know if you could see that. There's one there and one there, so that one will start blooming soon. A couple of them are looking a little dehydrated. I don't know, I have to see what to do about that. This one is not happy. So we'll see. Need to do a little research. I don't know if I can save that one or not, but I'm just thrilled that these 2 are blooming. Okay, so this is what I have left of my produce that I bought last month. I still have a few onions. I have some russet potatoes left. They're still looking fairly good. These weren't the best potatoes. You know, sometimes, depending on when you buy them, they have dark spots, but none of them are rotten. So that'll make a few meals. I still have 5 oranges, and I've made fruit salad out of this with my frozen veggies, and this is how I've been storing them. And I have 2 beautiful apples yet. I've also made fruit salad with those, and I actually have 2 heads of romaine yet that I've been storing in paper towels and green bags. So that's what I have left of produce, and I'm going to try and eat this up within the next 2 or 3 days. As you can see, this is still nice and green. It's got a couple of spots on it, but I'll just cut that away. Still very edible. And then I will go to my freezer stash because I have plenty of frozen vegetables that I can use instead of the fresh. And I'm going to try and not go to the store at least for the next couple weeks. So that's what I have left in the way of fresh produce. So here is my deck. It's not too bad out here. It's probably about 50 degrees, but lots of work to do out here. But it is sunny. I still have lots of cleanup to do. I have old planters hanging there, and I have to take all the covers off of my furniture here. And here I'm pretty happy about this. I actually have mint that's coming back. Normally it dies off, but I have several little mint plants coming. I had some in this planter too, and I see there's one coming up here, so I may not have to buy a lot of mint this year. And the rest of the yard is still not budding too much. My magnolia is starting to get flowers. And let's see, this one didn't come back. I had mint in here too, but I guess this is too shady or too cold. I don't know. But anyway, lots of work to do in the yard. This is what it's looking like right now. Just everything covered and gray and dingy. And I did move my garden way over there, and so it would get more sun, but I don't know how that's going to work out once all the leaves come out on the trees. But lots of work to do yet in the garden, and I wish it would warm up because it's cabin fever time. Nobody gets outside. It's just too dreary yet, although today's a nice day.
So as you can see, I don't need to go out to the store anytime soon. I'm going to be shopping in my own pantry. I've been doing that for several months now anyway, but I did replenish food as I used it, so my pantry is still well stocked. And if you do that, there's no hoarding necessary, and you don't have all that anxiety when something like this happens. So I would highly recommend that in the future you might consider storing some food for yourself just for situations like this, because it really does give you peace of mind. And I've noticed too that the prices are just going crazy. You know, no matter on Walmart, Amazon, I haven't been to Aldi's. I don't know what they're doing, but it's just for your peace of mind. You know, give that a try, and just slowly start stocking up. And if you don't have a lot of money, there's always the Dollar Tree. I don't know what their stock is like now. I imagine they're wiped out too. But, you know, pick up a couple packs of beans and some rice and shelf-stable things on your pantry. You can buy the shelf-stable milk. I buy the shelf-stable soy milk when they have it from there, and it's perfectly fine. And what I do, I have a little refrigerator in the basement, and even though it's shelf-stable, because I don't use it that much, I keep it in the refrigerator, so that stretches it out a little past the expiration date. And I imagine you can even freeze it so that you always have food available. So I'm going to come up with a list of things that I feel might be helpful to keep a stock on, and I'll try and get that video up within the next few days, along with the prices. And I want to keep it so that it's not real expensive. And hopefully some of these things will be available to you in the store. And I'll also talk about why I recommend that you keep these things in your pantry. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. Stay well. I wish you abundant blessings, and I'll see you next time.